Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about how to declutter your kitchen countertops. That's coming up next. So my first big tip is we need to break up this kitchen into different zones. You want to take the different parts of the kitchen and look at their function, and that's going to turn them into a zone. You can also do this by taking a look at the different large chunks of countertop. I have my big kitchen island here, and this is where we put all of the bread, and it seems to be like my big hot spot. So one of the first things that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a look at all this bread and just make sure that it's still good. This here, January 27th, so it's a little bit out of date. This one is February 3rd, so it's good through today. This one I just bought, so I know it's good. And then I have these tortillas. We do like tortillas here. February 29th, February 22nd. So I know I need to use these first. They're going to go on top. So now that I know which breads are good, which breads are bad, I'm just going to put them off to the side like this just for a moment. I have a little handy dandy clip from Walmart Grocery. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on my refrigerator. So that's on the refrigerator. I have a little popcorn. I'm going to try to go make that into my daughter's snack today. I have an oven mitt that can go over here for the moment. Ooh, Andy's mint. Well, that's going to be a treat when I'm done. So I'm going to keep that right there, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. This is an organizer that's going under my daughter's bed. And this is a phone case. Let me go put these away. So this is going to be a snack for my daughter later. So I am going to put this inside of my pantry. We have cookies that someone did not put away. Now all we're really left with here is bread. So where do you want to keep your bread? Well, for the moment, I know it's not going to be this island, but it's probably going to end up being on my counters. I could, for the moment, put it in my pantry though. I'm trying to make this nice and clean and not really have anything on it. So let me go and put these in here. Maybe they stay, I don't know. So now we have a nice clean island. It's kind of nice, isn't it? All we have to do is wipe it down. I'm going to do that all last, that way I don't need to worry about messing up a towel, throw it away, stuff like that. So this is one zone. Really you don't want to have too much on here. Like I said, some people will go and keep some bread. Some people will go and put a nice decoration here. I actually have something that I'll be showing you a little bit later that was a gift. So let's move back here. Here we are in the next zone that I've created. Here is my stovetop, and it doesn't really seem to make sense that I have bananas right by the stove, but that's just always where we've kept them. So I'm gonna put them at the moment, because they don't make sense here, I'm gonna put them on the island until I figure out where they go. So one of the big tips that I can really give you is if you have large appliances or even smaller devices, you want to decide if you want to go and keep them on your counter. For me, I don't think I really want to go and keep this on my counter because I don't use it as much as what I really should. This is something that I use very seldomly. My big tip for you is take away the small appliances. So if you have a cabinet just for those, great. Maybe you have a space inside your pantry for that, wonderful. Even if that means that you have a closet somewhere, like a linen closet to put those, if you don't use it every day, you really don't need it on the counter. I'm gonna go ahead and put this inside my pantry. Look, it's already starting to look much, much better. I have this that holds open like Ziploc bags. I actually do want to keep this and I want to keep my scale, my digital scale, I want to keep them close to each other. So for me, it does make sense to keep this here in this zone. I also have my digital meat thermometer that needs to be near the stove because that's where it makes sense. So I will be keeping this here in this zone. Another big tip that I can give you is try to make use of the corners because this is relatively empty space. So if you can keep these by the corners, it will completely maximize the amount of space that you have as a kitchen counter. Let's move on to the next zone. So this is basically my catch-all. We all have one. This is another little catch-all place. This is where we store a lot of our medication. We have our knife blocks. Some I don't even use. So let's go and take a look at what we have here. So I have 2 oven mitts that I'm going to be putting inside of this drawer. That's gonna be a whole nother decluttering project. I do have my cooktop spray. I'm not sure exactly where I'll probably end up putting that underneath the sink. So I have a little plastic tub that I like to go and keep our medications in. So I'm just taking a look to see what is good, what is empty. We don't need it, so that's going inside the garbage. It looks like because we've increased, unfortunately, the amount of medicine that we use. These are things that we use almost every day. If it's something you don't take every day, like this, I only take when I need it. So I'm going to be putting it up in my cabinet. So at this point, we can either keep it here or we can put it up inside the cabinet here. We like to go and keep this kind of easy to reach, but we're gonna try it up here in the cabinet. So many times you'll have things that just, you don't use them. Like I have this that actually changes the color of a flame. I don't need that. If you have free samples that you're not going to use or you got it a while ago and you haven't used it, throw it away. We actually got these pill packs, like pill containers to keep some of our medication. That's probably going to be what we're going to do with some of that medication that we have inside the bin. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and put it inside the cabinet. Again, if you have things that you're just not going to take, let's toss it. So a lot of us see these in Walmart or Target, Bed Bath & Beyond. So we see them and we're like, oh, that's super cute. It would look really, really nice on my counters. But the problem is that we keep them here and sometimes we just forget about them. That's actually what happened here. These have been inside this container for a while. Probably not good anymore. So for me, I think I'm going to end up taking this off my counters. So I've emptied the one and I have 2 other empty containers. I'll end up cleaning these and then I will store actual food that we're going to use inside the pantry. Doesn't this area already look better? So I do have one cookbook here. These are all the recipes that I've collected myself or I've tried or I want to try. And I have a few smaller cookbooks that I need to go and put into note cards and make my own cookbook. I like having my own cookbook because it means that it's going to have a lot less counter space that's taken up. But if you love your cookbooks and you have a place to display them, then you can make out a place here. Like for me, I would probably stop it about here and I would only put as many cookbooks as I could here. Once I got another one that I wanted to have, I would have to take one out. Really, it's all about keeping clutter down. Let's move on to the next zone. All right, so this is the area from the corner all the way over here. So it's really like a dual purpose for me. I drink coffee, but at the same time, I'm the only one that drinks coffee in the house. So that's why I have a Keurig, just something simple, just one shot done. I do have a little station that I've created. For me, I don't think it's going to be very easy for me to move everything in the corner, but we're gonna try. I also keep some other things off to the side. Some of these I haven't used in a while, so I'm going to get them off the counter. So if you have cups that you're just not going to use, but you might use them one day, think about it. Do you really need them? When was the last time that you got it, and how many times have you used it since? That's where I'm right now. I'm not going to use it. Let's throw it away. This actually goes to a magic bullet, but it's in a different cabinet, so it shouldn't be on my counter. Let's put it away. So taking a look here, we have a really empty corner. So I'm going to try to see if I can put my coffee maker inside of this corner. As you can see over here, I have a toaster and I have a can opener. Do I use them every day? Probably not, but I'm going to see which side my coffee maker is going to fit on. Doesn't it look better? It freed up a lot of counter space. So I'm going to be throwing these away, and then let's move on to the next zone. So this zone is kind of like my cleaning the dishes zone. Does it have to be there and have all this stuff? No. I do have stuff inside the corner. I have the toaster and I do have a can opener. Do I use them every day? I do use the can opener almost every single day, and my husband, he loves his waffles. So I may actually consider keeping them there, at least for now. I'm not sure, at some point I may move them. I did move them more inside of the corner so that it frees up more counter space. But now I want to tackle this. This is where I keep all the stuff for the sink, for the counters, everything. But we want to declutter. So I have this great big tub that I like to keep stuff in. So there's really no sense for us to go and keep some of this stuff on the counter because it's just going to make a mess. I keep a microfiber cloth on the counter because that helps when I need to go and wipe out the sink after it's gotten wet. I like to keep it on the counter, and I get a fresh one every single day. So I will be keeping one on the counter. And this goes under the sink. Do we really want to have the evidence of our dishwasher? No, we really don't. Why not take it and just put it under the sink? So two things that I will keep on the counter. I will keep a hand soap, and I will keep a hand sanitizer. Our zone is done. So one of the big tips I can tell you here is you don't want to have too much on the counter because then it's going to look extremely cluttered. You don't need all your cleaning supplies out. You don't need them. Put them under the sink. So I only have one last zone. Let's get to it. So my last area is actually a hot spot for us. This is where we will go and we'll put keys, we'll put whatever here. I want to make this look as nice as possible and really get rid of some of the stuff that's here that we don't need. Why have a fabric deodorizer right here? I don't know, but does it belong here? No. This will go inside of the laundry room. Papers, paper clutter does not need to be inside the kitchen. That is one thing that I try to do, is that within the kitchen is only kitchen things. So if you have paper clutter, go put it into another room, make one spot for it. You don't want to have paper pile. My husband doesn't listen very well, so this is going inside the office. Decorative things are nice, but if they just clutter up the space, then do you need them? One of the things that you can do is see if you can use some of those decorative items in other places of your home. You don't need them on one countertop. In fact, you really don't need too much on your counters at all. Just a little bit to make it look nice. Now that we have our kitchen counters clean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and wipe all the kitchen counters down with a Clorox wipe just to make sure everything is nicely disinfected. And I'll see you back once I'm done. So now all we have to do is put on the final finishing touches, and that is a nice cutting board. This is actually relatively small, but I love it. So this was actually made for me by my parents, who they actually do sell this, and if you'd like to have one, I will go and leave a link down below for you. But that is how you declutter your kitchen counters. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, then go ahead and click on the video to the right, and you can also subscribe to me on the left by clicking my face and the bell notification icon. Thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day.